Hey guys, you're watching TechEdit. I'm Basil and this video is all about the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4. Xiaomi launched two phones here in China, the Mix Flip and the Mix Fold 4. The Flip is its first flip phone. You can see my hands on video by clicking the link in the top, but the Mix Fold 4 is what this video is all about, and this phone looks so good. The Mix Fold 2 was excellent. The Mix Fold 3 was good. It was a solid upgrade, a solid phone, but it wasn't a huge step forward. Introduced things like wireless charging, which was nice, but the Mix Fold 2 was already so good. The Mix Fold 4, however, really pushes things a lot further. So thin, so light. The camera looks so good on paper, but quad camera as well. Really impressed on first impression. So here's my hands-on, but before I jump into it, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do, and ding that bell to stay on top of updates. On first impression, the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4 looks absolutely incredible. It is so thin. When folded, it is 9.47 millimeters. When unfolded, it is 4.59 millimeters. So now it feels like just a slab of glass, really premium. And then folded, it feels like a typical phone, except for the fact there is a very promising chunky camera bump. And that might sound like a weird thing to be happy about, but usually when there's a big camera bump, it is a sign of a quality camera. And you've got a quad camera system on here. I'll dive into a little bit more detail on later. Sticking with the design for a second, the polished frame, as you can see, has rounded corners. It is really nice feeling. It feels premium, and the matte glass back is resistant to fingerprints. It's available in 4 colors as well: black, blue, white, and a Xiaomi composite fiber. I really like this black one, and I'm just going to say from the offset, if the others are nicer than this, it'll be pretty incredible. Easily one of the best looking foldables, if not the best I've ever seen in my life. On the right hand side, you've got a fingerprint scanner as well as a power button. Both of these are on the bottom side, so not like with Honor where one is on one side, one is on the other. I actually prefer this more traditional way of doing things. Down at the base, you have a USB-C port, and as you can see, that USB-C port is pretty much as thin as the phone itself. And up at the top, there is no buttons or ports of note, but there is a speaker and a bottom firing speaker as well. You've also got a SIM slot too. As far as the screens go, both of them look very good. The cover screen is 6.56 inches, so a really good, comfortable size and wide enough to type on first impressions, much more so than the Galaxy Z Fold 5. The Fold 6 is a little bit better than the Fold 5 was, but not quite as good as this bad boy. In addition, the inner display is 7.98 inches, and both displays have the same core quality, which is excellent because it means whether you're open or closed, you will enjoy some really great picture. 418 pixels per inch, nice sharp, 1700 nit peak overall brightness across the displays, but when it comes to spot brightness, that climbs up to 3000 nits, 120 hertz max refresh rate with a 1 to 120 hertz dynamic refresh rate. So all in all, really impressive specs on paper. So whatever you're doing on this thing, it should look excellent. And Xiaomi's like color optimization is applied across both too. Internals include a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, so you've got the latest power with an ultra thin vapor chamber cooling system, and there's a nice big battery in here despite the size of this phone. A 5100 milliamp battery, 50 watt wireless charging, which isn't always the case for slimline foldables, and it's got 67 watt wired charging as well. As for the cameras, there are 4 cameras around the back. There's an ultra wide with a 12 megapixel resolution and an f2.2 aperture. There's a 1x with a 50 megapixel resolution and an f1.7 aperture, so nice and wide on that front. You've also got a 2x telephoto, portraits and close-up, so you'll be able to get close-up 9cm macro style photography, and that has an f2.0 aperture. And finally, there's the 5x periscope, which has an f2.9 aperture, which is pretty decent for a periscope. So a very complete camera mix. Obviously, you've got Leica Summilux lens on the main camera, and you've also got Leica watermark, Leica authentic, Leica vibrant styles, in addition to portrait lenses, etc., as found on other Leica Xiaomi devices. There are loads and loads of shooting modes and Leica movie mode, as well as with with the Mix Flip so that you can get that blurry background, sharp foreground with Leica Master Cinema activated. It's also worth taking a look at the Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Vivo X Fold 3 Pro alongside the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4, and that really will illustrate just how slimline the Mix Fold 4 is. You can see as I pull it close together, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 isn't helped by its super angular corners, but the Mix Fold 6 looks like a waif alongside it. It's a lot slimmer as well than the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro, but the X Fold 3 Pro does have a larger battery, so that's something worth noting. Interestingly, while I was expecting the Xiaomi to have a smaller camera bump on first impression, the Vivo actually has got the smaller camera bump. That's probably because there's more depth in there to have camera elements within. Plus, that's a triple camera system, and Xiaomi has included a quad camera system. I can take a look at the cover screens quickly, and while the Vivo X Fold 3's cover screen is a little bit taller, the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4's is a little bit wider. So you get a very comfortable cover screen experience across both. Putting the X Fold 3 Pro aside for a second, the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4 does make the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 look a fair bit smaller. As for the inner displays, can open up Samsung and can open up Xiaomi, and let's do Vivo as well while we're here, and you can see them all alongside each other. I'll bring two into frame at the same time, so we'll start with Xiaomi and Samsung. As you can see, apologies for any reflection on screen, and moving Samsung out of the way, bringing Vivo. One thing that is really, really awesome about the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro is the fact you have those in-display fingerprint scanners across the outer and inner display, and you can see right here how these two stack up. Very, very comparable, the Vivo and Xiaomi phones, whereas the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is just a little bit smaller, although I do like the very squared off design of Samsung, even if it isn't the most comfortable in hand. And so I think my first impressions of this are pretty darn obvious already. Between the design, the promise of the camera mix, obviously foldables are always going to have camera compromises, so you're not going to get like 1-inch sensors, etc. Not even Vivo did that on the X Fold. But what Xiaomi's done here, paired with that promise of Leica processing as well, is combine a really comprehensive hardware mix camera-wise with hardware design-wise, and two screens that look really, really beautiful and also just feel very comfortable in the hand. I've said this before, camera bumps are really good finger rests, and this is perhaps my favorite on first impression, only because while normally they're a little bit lower and they're either square or something, this is rounded really, really elegantly. So the phone just more securely sits, rests with a camera bump over my finger. Hope you enjoyed this early hands-on impression with the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4. I really like it. I wish I was taking one away to review, but unfortunately, I literally just got an hour with it. These devices are super scarce at the moment. Fingers crossed I'll get one in later. But if you do have any comments, please do fire them in the comments section and I will do my best to answer. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.